So the SGX Nifty this morning is indicating that the start will be well in the green, up about 45 odd points. Our entire team is joining in to help us with the list of top 10 stocks for the day. Anuj, let me begin with you. What's on your radar today?
Well, not from the just today's point of view, Sonia, but just want to reiterate the importance of leadership. The two stocks where we have seen the highest amount of delivery buying over the last 2 months or so, SBI and ICICI Bank, and these are really your two go-to stocks if the market has to rally intraday, and every time the market's declining, and these are the stocks where you see first sense of buying. And this is so reminiscent of what was happening in, even that 2003 to 6 phase. A bit of a parabola now for both these names, but the leadership is way too strong in both these names. So I'll keep an eye on both of these names in today's trade as well. As I said, maybe not just purely from day trade point of view, but from leadership point of view. But let's go across to Nimesh then. He's watching out for a couple of stocks where there's going to be block deals. Nimesh?
Yes, Anuj. I'll start with PVR first. There is a large block deal, 7.7% equity is what is likely to change hands. So clutch of private equity investors are going to sell stake, including multiples private equity, which is run by Renuka Ramnath. Now, the indicative price is between 1852 and 1929, which indicates up to 4% discount to yesterday's closing price. So execution will be key. But if you look at the shareholding pattern, it's a highly institutional-owned stock. 83% is between mutual funds, FIs, and private equity. So likely it's going to be a change of hands from private equity to FIs and domestic funds. So as I said, execution will be key. But given there is a 4% discount to start with, the stock could be in the red. So that's the first one. The second stock is Sundaram Fasteners. It was part of my charter list. While I was, the indication was that a FI was a seller, but it turned out to be the promoter entity, TVS, Sundaram. They have sold 1.2% stake, which is close to 25 lakh shares in a block deal yesterday. And 2/3 of the block was bought by ICICI Pru Mutual Fund. So good investor has bought, but the fact that the promoter entity has sold, maybe, it will start in the red as well. The fact that the promoter have sold nearly 1.2% stake in block deal yesterday.
All right, Nimesh, thanks very much for that. So we'll keep an eye out on both those names as we start today. Now, some news from the infrastructure space. GR Infra, there is a offer for sale today, and there is KEC, which held a investor meet as well. Vivek is standing by with details on both those. Vivek, hi, morning.
Well, good morning. Well, the first one, of course, as you mentioned, is GR Infra. Now, the promoters currently own a stake of almost 86.5%. So in order to adhere to the shareholding norms, they have forced to sell stake. So the route that they've chosen is via the OFS route. So the company, the management actually has announced an OFS where they're looking to pair almost 6.8% stake in the company. A base size of this particular OFS is almost 5.9%. And the floor price for this particular OFS is set at 1,260 rupees a share, which is a significant discount of a little over 8% to yesterday's closing price. It's going to be interesting to see the demand for this particular OFS. The other stock that you mentioned, KEC International, yesterday the company had met analysts at the RPG annual investor conference. Q1 FY23 for KEC was a little underwhelming. So a couple of analyst concerns were addressed, especially in terms of high debt as well as margin concerns, especially given the SAE project as far as Brazil was concerned. The company actually assuaged investor concerns on both of those fronts. In fact, they said that FY23 YTD order inflows currently is at 6,000 crore, and they've almost reached 30% of the FY23 guidance that they had given. They've targeted an order book of almost 20,000 crore for FY23, the order inflow. The order book target for FY23 is almost 40,000 crore, and this is something that the management said that they will also be bringing down the net working capital days down to 125 to 130 days by Q4 FY23. Nomura has given a buy target on the stock with a target price of almost 556 rupees a share.
Okay, and in that Nomura note, they also say that the debt levels for the company has risen sharply in FY22, but could witness some reversal by the end of FY23. So keep that in mind as well. Sonal is here with us to talk about Balaji Amines and KPI Green. Sonal, over to you.
Good morning, Sonia. Starting with Balaji Amines, because finally they have been able to complete phase 1 of Unit 4, where they were going to produce DMC. Now remember, this was supposed to be completed in Q1, so there is a slight delay there. But the commissioning of this particular project is definitely a big positive. Not only that, the company has gone ahead and announced capex to add capacity in phase 2 of Unit 4. And they say the total capex here will be around 200 to 220 crore rupees, and it is going to be funded via internal accruals. KPI Green, that is the other stock in focus because it has received new order for executing wind-solar hybrid power project of 4.2 megawatt under captive power producer segment of the company. It is a third-party solar power provider, and particularly in their captive power producer segment, they develop, transfer, maintain grid-connected solar power projects for its industrial customers. So these two stocks will be in focus today.
Okay, Sonal, thanks a lot for that. Let's go across to Abhishek then. He's watching out for a couple of mid-cap NBFCs. Abhishek?
Well, Anuj, as you mentioned, Home First Finance is on radar. There are news report from Business Line which says that Warburg is looking to exit Home First Finance. Now, remember that, Warburg has a stake of about 28.73% in the company, and they are in talks with various NBFCs as well as banks. So, Warburg has reached out to IndusInd Bank, Shriram Housing, RBL Bank, Yes Bank, and Vastu Housing Finance. So, the valuation that has been sought by Warburg, as per the news report, is about price to book value of 6x, while the stock is trading at 4x. So CNBC-TV18 has not verified this news report independently. However, just to alert our viewers, Warburg had entered into Home First Finance in September 2020. Another stock on radar is AB Capital, wherein Abu Dhabi Investment Authority has got a nod from CCI. The nod is for buying up to 10% stake, that is 9.99%, for a consideration of rupees 665 crore in Aditya Birla Health Insurance. So Aditya Birla Health Insurance, this transaction is also subjected to various other regulatory approvals like ADI, etc. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Well, crude is in focus because we are heading into the US Fed meeting, and crude has been hovering around $93, $94 a barrel. Manisha is here to tell us more about that. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, we have seen the crude oil prices surge even higher in the last 24 hours. We are trading at a one-week highs right now, and we've done $95 a barrel for the Brent prices there. This is after the IEA report, which says that they're looking at a strong demand for crude oil in 2023. The OPEC says that they're looking at a higher demand in 2022 as well as 23. So the strong demand scenario is supportive. And then there's a large-scale gas-to-oil switching in many countries because of the gas supplies not reaching enough. And then the markets also are looking at the likelihood of a U.S. rail stoppage due to an ongoing labor dispute. Support also comes in from the fact that the dollar index has seen a pause or a decline from the recent highs. So almost everything seems to be supportive. And not just crude, the U.S. natural gas prices gained 9% overnight. The European Union gas prices were up 8% overnight. This is after the European Union drops the plan to impose price cap on Russian imports. So there are many headlines coming in for crude, and almost all of them supportive of price.
Sonia, Manisha, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. That's oil and commodities very much in focus. Here is a quick recap of the top stocks that we're watching out for. Stocks with positive news flow are Balaji Amines, KPI Green Energy, KEC International, Home First Finance, Aditya Birla Capital, ONGC, and Oil India. Well, stocks with negative news flow are PVR, Sundaram Fasteners, GR Infra Projects, and a few more. We'll take a very quick break here. Up next, Rajesh Bhatia of ITI Long Short Equity Fund will join in for some fundamental stock analysis. A little later, we'll talk about that investor meet. Vimal Kejriwal of KEC International will join in to talk about the meet and, of course, some of the new order wins since the last time we spoke with him. Back in 2.